Well, thank you very much, and we welcome you to Zeppo's in Pullman, Washington, as it is another edition of our WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, as we get together here on Monday nights, and another Monday has come to us, and with it, another Coaches Show. Coach, how you doing on this Monday?
Good, Steve. How are you? Thanks for coming back tonight, and let's get this thing going.
Let's get this thing rolling as the Cougars home over the last couple of matches, now getting set for 3 consecutive matches on the road over the course of what will be the final 5 matches of the season, as we are closing in now here on mid-October and starting to get down to the final stretch of this regular season when it comes to Washington State University soccer. And as we got things started again, we knew going in, as we talked about it last week, 2 home matches against both St. Mary's and Portland. And I know in one of the things that you were talking about last week was trying to get off to an early start. And you certainly did that against St. Mary's. A 1-0 win, but how about a goal in the first 5 minutes? How impressed were you with your team getting going early in the matchup against St. Mary's?
It was great. We challenged them to start the game. Let's get this thing started quickly and put some goals out there in the first 20 minutes for him. And Grayson, who's in the house tonight, will be up here in a bit, took that lead with us with the first goal in the first, 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And then actually had a couple more opportunities before, not just her, but some others. So we definitely had the foot on the gas to start that game.
Yeah, again, Grayson Lynch, one of the leaders on this team, one of the upperclassmen on this team, going to be joining us a little bit later on in the show, and she put the finishing touch. But kind of take us through the goal, because it was a great lead-up to the goal and the final touch from Grayson Lynch.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a build-up, and then Megan Santa Cruz came across the frame of the goal and laid a ball out to Grayson. And what Grayson does, she got her head up, look where the goalkeeper's out. She was cheating off her line a little bit, and Grayson lifted it and put it in the back post.
Looked to me like Megan had to kind of evade a couple defenders along the way to that as well, so obviously a big assist for her. But talk about what Megan did to lead up to the goal.
She did, and when Megan's got the green light to take players on, to make things happen in that environment is a good thing. So let her do her thing, and then I'm glad she got her head up, made that final pass, and then Grayson did what she does.
And so for you guys to get that early goal, sure, you would have wanted some more, but then at the same time, as you mentioned, you had some opportunities to get some more, and you took a 1-0 lead into the locker room at halftime. What were you talking about at halftime and getting set for the second half in the final 45 minutes against St. Mary's?
Number one, don't get comfortable. We thought we needed another goal to close this thing out, and our defense has been solid all year. We've talked about that. We wanted to get one more and push, and it didn't happen that way. That's okay, but the defense and Nadia stayed strong, and we got the result.
As for your defense in the second half, St. Mary's, they came out and you guys were pretty much trying to get some possession, I'm sure, and trying to, as you said, be physical with them at times. Were you able to accomplish that? And when you looked at the numbers, how was your possession in the second half as far as going up against St. Mary's and having that defensive stand?
Well, a little bit like LMU the week before, that they went highway one on us. They just started serving balls at us, and we had to deal with the high pressure, the balls in the air, and bring it down and now try to play. So I think we've got better from the LMU to that St. Mary's game. St. Mary's as far as being able to play under pressure a little bit more. So I was happy with that. But again, anytime you're dealing with that, it's tough.
Yeah, and again, knowing that it is just the one goal, but at the same time, your defense has been so solid all season long, and of course you've got the goalkeeper behind that you want. And what made your defense so tough on Wednesday night to go up against this? Were there any intangibles, or was it just communication? Was it just an overall great team effort? Kind of talk about the way your defense stood tall to give yourselves yet another clean sheet.
Well, I think it's our most veteran line in the group. I said that from preseason, from day one. It's our most mature, maybe our oldest group of that back line. So they've dealt with this for years, a couple of them, and it's just another day in the park for them.
Yeah, so again, Washington State opened up the home weekend, or the home week, I guess you could say, since it got started on a Wednesday with a 1-0 victory over St. Mary's, and then you ended up taking on a Portland team, and you ended up with a 1-1 tie, and this time it was you guys getting the late equalizer, and it was a goal from Kendall Campbell, as she ends up getting the goal for you. How big was that goal to secure at least a point in the standings?
I mean, number one, the timing of that was incredible, but the goal that she scored was a bomb. I mean, those that watched it online, that was a high-class, big-time goal. And we had chances after that to win it, and obviously we unfortunately missed the PK early on in that game there. But what's important about that is these girls did not quit at halftime. They kept going. They kept grinding. It was all positivity in there. And then, again, what an unbelievable goal by Kendall.
As far as the Portland matchup, your thoughts on the way it kind of just went from start to finish, the fact that you did fall behind early, and you found a way to get the point. Just your thoughts on how we played overall on Saturday night.
We deserved to win. I'm just going to call it right out.
Okay.
It was an unfortunate goal. Portnoy had a great ball that she kicked out. I don't know if you saw it, Steve. It hit off the back of the girl and rolled in the goal. When does that happen for us? But it didn't. That's okay. We talked about it. You got to create your own luck, and you can't pout about it. And but that's how they scored. But again, we could easily fold it from that. But they stayed hungry and got the result we needed.
So again, a win and a tie. So 2 results that gave you points in the standings. Would have loved to have the 2 wins, but still get again positive results. You stay unbeaten at home at Lower Soccer Field. That's again something we talked about really from the first time that we got together on this Cougars Soccer Coaches Show, is defending Lower Soccer Field, and you were able to do that this week.
Yeah, you got to defend your home turf. Nobody comes in here and beats us up, so we can't have that happen. That's for sure.
All right. Again, just getting things started. As Todd mentioned, we do have Grayson Lynch. She is going to be joining us just a little bit later on from now. As a matter of fact, we'll get to her in about 20 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less than that, and visit with her throughout the course of the evening. We'll keep on visiting with the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Again, we're here at Zeppo's, so glad to have you with us on News Talk for the Blues. Your show here from Zeppo's is brought to you by U.S. Bank, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Together, there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. More with the head coach after we take time out. Glad to have you with us. Just getting things started. It's an hour-long show. We'll be with you all the way up until 7 o'clock. It's a Cougar Soccer Coaches Show from Zeppo's, and it's live from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Well, again, great to have you with us. It is your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, as the Cougars end up with a win and a tie over the weekend, and with that sitting at 5-4-4 on the season. That was after the win over St. Mary's, and then as they ended up taking on the Portland Pilots, got the tie, so actually 5-4-5 now as we sit here in the regular season. And again, I know you and I have talked about it. If we had overtime, maybe that record is a little bit different, but I mean, that's the tough thing about this, is that those 5 ties, and I know how you feel about them, you add just a few of those ties into the win column, and we're talking about a completely different scenario here. And not that we can't still accomplish the things that we want to accomplish in the final 5 matches, but that would make a totally different scenario heading into the final 5 matches.
100%. You know, I mean, it is what it is. There's no reason to bark and complain about it. I'm trying not to with the NCAA and why we've taken away overtime, but Yeah, it is. It's evident. I mean, that easily could be 10-4. I mean, right? I mean,
Yeah, no doubt.
So that's what's tough about it.
Yeah, and so for you, as you take a look at what happened over the weekend, let's talk about your offense. And obviously, you got a goal in each match. You end up 1-0, and you ended up 1-1. Overall shot selection, overall the way you tried to create offensively. Were you happy with the way that your offense produced, and did you think you got quality looks as far as the weekend was concerned?
I felt Wednesday we really did, and that easily could have been 3 or 4 early. I know we said that before, but those keepers made some good saves too. The ball was on frame. I'm happy about that. The creativity to get there was great. On Saturday night, and I'm not saying that Portland's defense was any better than St. Mary's or vice versa, but I would say that the first half I wasn't happy with our production in front of net. The second half was a different ballgame. And it wasn't the reality. We had to get to halftime and talk about it. It wasn't that we're trailing a goal here right now. It's this they had to input themselves in those moments, and they did. And that second half, I mean, again, a couple great saves and a couple little here, there, somewhere. We could have won that game.
And, I mean, again, as you look at that result on Saturday, could have won the game, but also could have lost the game. But, as you mentioned, showed some grit there in the second half to come back from what was down 1-0 to get the late goal to make sure that you had a positive result.
We needed to, right? That's one of the messages we had at halftime. We can't, it's not like they broke us down to score, and that might have been in the conference. I'm going to be honest with you, and the staff can agree to disagree, and I'm sure they would agree. I don't think Nadi was really tested in that game. We've been tested in other games. She wasn't tested against Portland, and that's the goal they give up. That was tough to swallow, so we knew we had to get in there and at least get this thing tied up.
Defensively, certainly looks like you guys had a nice weekend. Again, from the stat side of things, clean sheet, gave up just the one goal, and it was just, again, kind of a goal that was, I don't know, unlucky, I guess would be one way to put it. We've kind of talked about it over the course here, the first couple of segments here. But defensively, again, another solid output from your team.
For sure. The whole group from top to front have done a great job, including their goalkeepers.
Meanwhile, how about the depth of your team? Did you like the way that your subs came on in both the contests and ended up performing throughout the course of the weekend?
I did, for sure. And, that group, both games, the depth was key, especially on Saturday. You have to have a deeper bench on Saturday. You're playing 2 games within 3 days, so you have to have that bench and depth and rotations down packed.
Yeah, so again, with that, you end up with, again, a win and also a tie. And as we take a look at the schedule that's upcoming here for Washington State, again, you get just the one game coming up for this week, which is, of course, the matchup that is going to be against Gonzaga, and that's going to be coming up on Saturday up in Spokane. If you want to make the trip up to Spokane, it's going to be at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And then you go to Santa Clara and San Francisco, home to Oregon State and Pacific. One thing that I think is an opportunity for us there is as you take a look at some of those teams, and obviously they're where they are in the conference for a reason, but a couple teams that are ahead of you in the standings that you can kind of go out and take care of yourselves in both Santa Clara and also Oregon State coming up.
For sure. I mean, that one game at a time, as we always talk about, and this Zag game is going to be a tough one for sure. Just distance-wise, just teams that know each other, familiarity, it's always been a great game. But you're right, there's people that in front of us that we can still get up there and catch, and we're hoping to put an input to make that happen, impacts.
As for your week this week, obviously just the one matchup. Does it affect the way you guys attack as far as the preparation for your work this week?
Yeah, we got to be smart. Today they just had film and they lifted. Tomorrow we'll get out there and do stuff just about us, meaning break down some things. And Wednesday we'll start probably game planning for Gonzaga. But tomorrow we'll do another day about us and what we need to get better at.
It's also an interesting portion of the schedule because you get Gonzaga, then you get Santa Clara, and then what is it? Is it like a week and a half before you get San Francisco? Is that the way that it
Yeah, it's bizarre. I looked at
you?
that today, too. It's like, that's bizarre. So we will have some more time there. Why we can't play Santa Clara and San Francisco the same weekend, right? But it is what it is. That's how the schedule planned out. So we'll play Santa Clara on a Wednesday and then go back the following Saturday. Is that right, or Wednesday?
That's what I see.
Yeah,
exactly. Saturday.
Yeah, so we'll have some time to regroup and help heal up and get better.
So, again, can't do much about it, right? The West Coast Conference puts out the schedule.
Yep.
You don't put out the schedule.
No, that's not me.
You got to attack it this way. You got to attack it.
I get yelled at enough. I didn't put the schedule together, that's for sure.
All right, again, Washington State University in Spokane, in Santa Clara, at San Francisco, and then again, home to Oregon State and Pacific as we take a look at the West Coast Conference right now. Oregon State on the top, Santa Clara and Pepperdine, and then right there, Portland and Washington State right there in that next group. grouping behind when it comes to the West Coast Conference standings when it comes to soccer. And again, the Cougars trying to climb the ladder. And again, we'll get Gonzaga coming up on Saturday. All right, let's see here. Glad to have you with us again. It's your Cougar Soccer Coaches Show. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. What do you think? Is it time for Grayson Lynch?
I think she's ready. Grayson, you ready? Next show, Grayson's ready.
All right, we'll get her up here. We'll give her a couple of minutes to prepare, and then we'll throw her into the fire. Grayson Lynch getting set to join us. It's your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show. Glad to have you with us from Zeppos. Good to be here on a Monday night. We'll take a break, and then we'll return. It's your Soccer Coaches Show live from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Jan from Toyota here. At Toyota's National Sales Event, there's still time to squeeze more fun out of summer with a new Camry, RAV4, Corolla, and more. So go on, squeeze your extended family into a Highlander for a family reunion.
Everybody in. Tammy, Teddy, Toady, Tommy, Toby, Terry. Wait, where's Rex?
Or stop for some fresh squeezed lemonade in a Prius.
Ooh, how much?
$15.
Okay, now that's a squeeze.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends September 3rd. Toyota, let's go places.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Well, it is your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show. We are with the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Also joining us, senior Grayson Lynch, as she is here with us as well, and one of the great players for the Washington State University Cougars. Grayson, first of all, thank you for taking the time to join us, and how you doing on a Monday night?
I'm doing pretty good. We had a little bit of time off from practice today, so feeling pretty good, rested.
All right, and now set and ready to go as you will get Gonzaga coming up on Saturday. Let's talk about your matches over the course of this last couple of weeks. First of all, take us to that goal. I know that Todd and the coaching staff were talking to you guys about trying to get off to an early start, and much earlier than the 5th minute. I think, what were we, a second into the 5th minute? I think it was just after 4 minutes had gone off the clock, and you get the game winner. Kind of take us, or not, it ends up being the game winner. You didn't know it at the time, but you get the first goal of the match, and just kind of take us through the way you saw the play developing and how it occurred, and then what you did to put the ball into the net.
Yeah, the coaches have been on us about starting fast and just getting that first goal. We've started the past couple matches slow, the first 10 minutes, so that was something that we really wanted to focus on. And then I just remember seeing Megan dribbling, and she assisted my goal at Pepperdine from the same type of thing, and so I was debating whether or not to run through or pull wide, and Reagan was up there and took a defender with her, and so I just stayed wide and waited for her to pass me the ball, and I just remember taking a touch forward and looking up and seeing the goalie off her line, and just thought about shooting it to the far post, and luckily it went in. So
When you get an early goal like that, it's got to give you some confidence because it gives you an early lead and you know the defense that you guys have played, but also knowing that you've got so much match still left to play. How important was it for you guys to then go out and finish that up and make that goal stand and talk about the way your defense played throughout the entire contest?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we could have won the game 4-0. I had another chance like a couple minutes after that should have been put away, and we had a couple more throughout the game. But to be able to hold on to a 1-0 lead for 85 minutes, that just shows how good our defense is, and they've been strong all season for us. We've tied a lot of games, but it's not coming from our defense letting in goals. It's from us not producing enough up top. And so luckily these past few games we've been able to put the ball in the back of the net when we needed to. But now it's just about finding more ways to score more goals so it's not that close.
And then Saturday, kind of a grind again, probably outplaying your opponent, but at the same time finding yourselves down 1-0 and just trying to grind out at least a result. And you guys were able to get that with the late equalizer from Kendall Campbell. Your thoughts on how you guys were able to persevere and at least get the positive result out of that?
Yeah, we thought we played pretty well in the first half, so it was unfortunate to be down 1-0 off a little bit of unluckiness. But we also had chances to put away the game in the first half that I think we've all kind of self-reflected on our opportunities and what we could have done better. But to have a freshman step up in that big of a moment with that little time left on the clock was huge. And we all know what she's capable of. We all know what our team is capable of. And I think there's been other games this season where we have fought right to the end, and I think that was just another game of doing the same thing. So it was good to get at least a tie when coming back from down a goal, but I don't think we're satisfied with that. I think we wish we could have pulled out the win at the end of the day.
How important is it for you guys to protect home turf, as you guys have been undefeated all season long and have just the 2 regular season matches left, the final 2 matches of the regular season, to get the wins and the positive results at Lower Soccer Field?
I think it speaks to the fans that have come out and supported us every game. I honestly, in my 6 years here, I don't remember the last time that we've had this many fans show up with the weather getting colder. And it's going to be crucial for our last 2 games, one of them being senior night, to send off our big senior class in the right way. But we're just hoping to keep that streak alive and now get some results on the road.
As you mentioned, 6th year here at Washington State University. You had the injury last season. How tough was that to go through the rehab process? And then how rewarding is it for you to go out and finish your career off with the season that you're having this season?
It was definitely one of the hardest experiences I've had, but I was also lucky enough, unlucky that another teammate was going through the same thing, but lucky enough that we had each other through it.
Right.
Because we both got to push each other. We both got to see how each other were progressing. And when it came back to soccer, we got to be doing drills and stuff together when we weren't really allowed to be with the team. So that was very helpful. But it was definitely a struggle. It was a hard year for me. And just knowing that I started off so fast last year and I kind of had not plans for the future, but I was ready to get out of Pullman a little bit.
Sure.
So having to come back was not in the plan at all, but I am glad that I'm back here and trying to find my form again with these last couple of games. So.
What about her, Todd, to come back from that injury and to finish off her career here in Pullman? Speak to her and about her perseverance and how much she has meant to this program. As she mentioned, 6 years here. You've known her for longer than that, obviously, through the recruiting process. But talk about this young lady on your right-hand side and coming back from that injury.
Well, Grayson played in the Final Four game against Carolina. She was in that game, and I'll never want to play. She came across the front of the box and almost had an opportunity there in that game as well. And so what I say about Grayson, number one, as a person, she's incredible. She's a great teammate. She's coachable. She's done everything we've done here, asked for, and more. She had no business to come back. She could have hung up the boots. She could have went somewhere else, but she trusted in the program, the staff, the players around her, the school, and McCoy, the whole university here, because that's what makes Pullman special. And, have a leader back like Grayson has been great. I know that game last year was against Portland when she tore it. Mm-hmm. And not to rehash that, I really thought Grayson was going to win that thing the last 5 seconds the other night too. It was going to be a stretch anyway where she was shooting from the last minute of the game, but where that came from and her to get through that. Because, I mean, I didn't say a word to her about it in the game, but I know it was eating at you probably about that was the game last year where she tore ACL.
Yeah, and
Portland.
For her to come back and be as strong as she has been for you this season, I mean, just it speaks to not only her physical abilities, but also her mental makeup too, doesn't it?
It does, but I'm going to go deeper and talk about the people here we have and herself and Reese. And Grayson is really, as all our kids have, grown up. It's fun to watch them. We can brag about her all as the players we want. We can brag about her in the classroom. But to me, seeing her be a leader now and what she does and holds herself and others accountable around her, including myself and the staff and the players and everything she wants to do is great to see because – I knew we called her Little G back in the day, right? And then that started from, I think, Elise, right? Elise called her Little G.
Yeah, or Khalees, someone,
and now she's almost as old as me. She's a grown woman. So, I mean, there we go.
I don't know if I go quite that far.
Come on, Steve.
But, Grayson, he mentioned you were part of that run to the Final Four. What was it like as you came on campus your freshman season? And who were some of the upperclassmen on that first season that you were here that you leaned on and got to know and kind of learned about the program and then have taken that over into what's now a leadership role on this team?
Yeah, it was a super exciting year. Definitely scary being in that moment as a freshman, and I wish I could go back and tell myself that it would all be okay going on the field in that time. And I hope that if that does come back and we're fortunate enough to make a run this year, that I have an opportunity like that again because it will be going in the back of the net. But as far as looking up to players, Morgan obviously was a huge role model for me, being a forward and having all that pressure on her. She had a lot of pressure on her, not from just like us as a team, but from outsiders and from what other teams would do for like to mark her and things like that. And so over my time here, it's helped me grow. I've stayed in contact with her. I'm pretty good friends with her. So just having her to reach out to and kind of get some feedback. Same with Elise Bennett, and then someone that I don't think gets talked about enough when we made that run was Avery Collins. I played pretty much right behind her in practices. I was the one that was behind her getting reps after her, and just the things that she would do for us as a team from a leadership role when she wasn't really looked at as like necessarily a captain, but she took over kind of our team in that way. She was a huge influence for us and a huge influence as to why we made that run, and coming from Stanford and knowing what it took to win was a huge reason why we made it there.
So going from 2019 now to where we're at now, have you embraced that role of being a leader on this team? Obviously, it seems like you have, and Todd has talked glowingly about the way that you and the other leaders on this team do lead this team. But is that something you embrace? Is it something that comes natural to you, or is it something that you just kind of have learned as you've kind of grown throughout the process here at Washington State?
I would say I definitely have had to grow up a little bit. It's not something that necessarily comes natural in the way that I lead now versus what I would, see myself as how I would lead. And it took me a few years. The first year that I was looked at to become a leader, I shied away from it a little bit, wouldn't use my voice a whole ton. And then as time went on and some of those players that led with their voice and were super commanding of the team had left, I realized that was a role that I was going to have to fill. Whereas before I would like to be someone that would just lead by example and, let what I do on the field show and that be it. But I've definitely had to grow in that aspect of being someone that can actually use their voice to get things out of players and what we need. So.
Again, visiting with Grayson Lynch. She is in her final season here at Washington State University out of Castle Rock, Colorado. We'll spend another segment with her, if that's okay with you, Grayson.
Yeah.
All right, we're about halfway through the show, so we're due another break. So we'll take another break, and then when we come back, we'll not only jump into the back half of the show, but we'll have another segment with not only the coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, but also Grayson Lynch as well. So stick with us. We'll be back after we take another time out. So happy to have you with us from Zeppos. It's where the Palouse comes to play and eat. It's a Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger, and we're back in just a bit. This is the Cougar Soccer Coaches Show from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Fall is here, and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp, polished finish, to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services, and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
Well, we welcome you back here to Zeppos. Glad to have you with us. It is your Cougar Soccer Coaches Show, and it is with me, Steve Grubbs, head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger, and our player interview today, Grayson Lynch, the senior out of Castle Rock, Colorado. Glad to have you with us. Your show brought to you in part by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment, Choose Chill, Celebrate Responsibly. Grayson, you're a forward for this team. Have you always been a forward when it comes to soccer? Is that something that you always wanted to be? Is that the position that you were just kind of born into when it comes to soccer?
In my younger years, I kind of played all over. I actually played goalie at one point in time.
Did you like that?
Not so much.
Okay.
As I got older and, people could actually kick the ball hard, I kind of shied away from that spot. So, but as far as I can remember, for the longest time, I've pretty much played forward or midfield of some sort, and just kind of stuck with it. So.
Has soccer always been your sport? Did you play any other sports when you were in high school, and were there other sports that drew your interest as you were growing up?
I played basketball and volleyball growing up, along with soccer, but once it came to high school, it was all the focus turned to soccer. And
you started to play club soccer down in Colorado as well, and talk about your experience in Colorado playing not only at the high school level but also at the club level. Yeah, I played for Real Colorado, a club that's known all throughout the country for who they've produced. And a couple of my teammates are from the same club, and it was a great experience. I had some great coaches and people that I still talk to this day from a coaching standpoint. My first coach there actually we're really good family friends with him now, and I reach out to him all the time for advice, and it was a great experience for me. Was that when you first got to know her, Todd? When did you get on to Grayson Lynch? Was it with high school? Was it with the club soccer at Real Colorado? Or when did you first start to get on Grayson Lynch?
It was club for sure, Real Colorado. I mean, and she's being very modest. I mean, Real is one of the top clubs in America. Yeah. I mean, the names they produce outside of Grayson Lynch is Sophie Smith and Mal Pugh and Jaylene Hinkle, Janine Becky. I mean, these are all World Cup players that they've done a great job with. So we got to know Grayson there, and she played for a friend of mine, Lauren Donaldson, and that whole group over there, and some other coaches. So, Colorado's been done us very well as far as recruiting. When you saw her either on tape or in person, what jumped out at you about Grayson Lynch and wanting to first get at her when it comes to an athletic side of things? Well, she's athletic, number one. She's shifty on the ball. She's a great ball striker. She can run at players. I mean, the kid gets up and down the field and goes. So everything about it, she's technical and she's composed in some areas. Sometimes you just get the athlete, but Grayson's got a mixed bag of everything, and that's been very important. And she's a two-footed ball striker. She scored that goal the other night with her left foot. She's a right-footed player, can do both, and her ball striking is just incredible on both sides.
Grayson, as the recruiting process came to you, and obviously WSU was part of that, what made you choose Washington State University and making your way here to Pullman to play for Washington State and for Todd Shulenberger?
I didn't know a whole lot about WSU until actually Sandy, who's not here anymore, was the one that first reached out about recruiting me. And that kind of made me look into it. My coaches at the time talked to me about it and was like, hey, this is a really good program. You should look into it. And I came up here on a visit, and I knew pretty much right away that this is where I wanted to be. And I came in the winter time when it was snowing.
Yeah.
But being from Colorado, it felt very similar from a weather standpoint.
Sure.
And the seasons and stuff that you get here. But for myself, it was the players that I met on the visit, the coaching staff, and just the town and community, and being in a small place where, everyone supports athletics and everyone supports the college was kind of what I was looking for. And so that just kind of stood out to me, and then the players just made it that much easier.
Trying to remember when the renovations happened at Lower Soccer Field. Was that before you came, or was that right as you were coming, or what about Lower Soccer Field and the facilities that were here for you?
I think they had just finished when I came on my visit, so I saw all of it as it is now.
Uh-huh.
So that was super exciting just to see the investment that they were putting into the program, and kind of knowing that, not only did we have the support of the community of Pullman, but the athletic director, Ann McCoy, has been great, and just having that support from everyone from all angles was really stood out. So.
The other thing that I've noticed about you is, as I do my radio show on a regular basis, Monday through Friday, is every time I see your name, there's also something academic that comes out when it comes to that time of a season when they name the all-academic teams, and you're always on that list. How important is academics? You're a smart young lady, and how important has academics been for you here at Washington State?
Pretty important. My first goal, was to come here and get a degree. Obviously, soccer is super important to me, but it doesn't last for a whole lifetime. At some point, you got to hang it up, and so getting my degree was definitely important to me. I actually was not the best student in high school and struggled academically, so coming here kind of flipped the switch on that. Don't ask me about my grades now that I've graduated, but that was definitely a focus for me.
She takes one class now. Steve, I can do that. I can do that. I mean, come on.
Well, what about her, though, as she was going through the grind as a young player and doing as well as she was doing in the classroom?
It was good to see. I mean, like I said, we knew that coming in. G wasn't the greatest student athlete coming in, and she's excelled all those expectations now. And really, there was never a point in time that I can really recall sitting down in the office and say, Grayson, you got to pick this up in the classroom. So that's never happened. So she's been tremendous as well in the classroom.
Yeah, and a couple of more quick questions here for Grayson, then we'll let her go and finish up with the head coach here for the final third of the show. But Grayson, as you made your way here to Washington State University, talk about some of the upperclassmen that are here with you. Maybe not quite as long as you, but what about some of the lifelong friends I'm sure that you've made here? Who are some of the players that are upperclassmen with you that you're really connected with?
Yeah, we have a great group of upperclassmen that I've been lucky enough to be here through their whole journey. And the ones, that I'm close with everyone on the team.
Yeah.
I would say I'm friends with every single person on the team.
That's awesome.
I pride myself in being able to reach out to the people, hang out with different people, and just try to be that person for whoever needs it. But I'm definitely close with Reese and Nadia and Jenna. Jenna's my roommate. We've lived together for as long as she's been here in Pullman. And I've made friends that aren't here anymore that I still talk to this day, and still check in on and see how they're doing, and excited to reconnect with them once I have a little bit more free time after college. But that's definitely one of the biggest things, and if you ask anyone that's been a part of the team, they all say that the hardest part about leaving Pullman is the people, and it's a testament to how close of a team we are, and we all love each other so much. So.
How about some of the newbies? There's a freshman or somebody that you've really just enjoyed getting to know, a newcomer, a transfer, a freshman that it's become a new teammate over the last year or two that you've really gotten close to and going, wow, this girl's pretty special.
Yeah, I enjoy all the freshmen that have come in, the transfers as well. Juliana lives with me, so I've gotten pretty close with her these past couple months, and she's been great to have. Kendall, Jamuna, they're a treat, to say the least. They're something else. I'm excited to watch them, and I'll continue to follow them throughout their career. And same with Kira, excited to see her get back on the field. I was with her all spring, and I've tried to help her through her injury a little bit because I know what it was like. I know what it feels like. And then Denise is great as well. She's a hard worker and continues to put her head down and go to work. So excited to see all of them and where they go from here.
Down now to the final month here of the regular season, just as you take a look at these next 5 matches, just how important for you personally, since it is your last season at Washington State, and for this team to go out and show what this team is made of and get some really positive results?
It's super important to me. Obviously, I want to make the tournament, and there are girls on our team that haven't gotten to experience that, and there are other people that haven't experienced it in a while. And so that's probably the number one goal for me. But more than that, it's just taking it game by game, and trying to get a result every time that we step out on there, and not taking those moments for granted. I know what it feels like to have a season cut short, and I really don't want that to happen this year. And so just trying to get back and get the program back to where it belongs, because it has been too long without getting a postseason run. So.
Only a couple opportunities left at Lower Soccer Field. Have you even thought about senior day, or is that we need to worry about that when senior day comes?
I've had
3 senior days. Yeah.
Old hat, right?
Yeah, this will be my 3rd senior night because got to celebrate before I knew I was taking my COVID year, and then last year I actually walked for senior night. Just because I didn't know what the future was going to hold. But excited to, have another shot at it and, just be able to celebrate with the teammates that I have now. And I'm the best thing about coming back year after year is the people that join the team and becoming friends with new people and helping them grow into, the team and things like that.
Yeah. Again, love visiting not only with the head coach, but obviously the players that they bring every week. How about Grayson Lynch, everybody? Senior for Washington State University. Let's give her a hand. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back with the head coach of Cougar Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. Glad to have you with us. Cougar Soccer Coaches Show live from Zeppo's from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Mateer, a quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
Well, we are here at Zeppo's. It is your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show, and again with us tonight, it is the head coach of Washington State University Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. We're talking not only about what's coming up, what happened this past week, but also had a chance to visit with Grayson Lynch. Again, a young lady that's been part of this program now into her 6th season, Todd, and just, again, I'm sure for you to have somebody that is that solid as not only a player but as a leader on your team's got to make you feel comfortable with having that type of leadership on your team.
For sure. I mean, think about 15 minutes she was up here. I mean, that was pretty impressive, I thought, with the way she handled herself and did. So that was great, and that's what you're getting in the locker room now with Grayson and Reese's, both of them.
As you saw her from the beginning stages to now where she's at in her final season at Washington State, what has impressed you most about her?
I mean, she stayed to the course. I mean, it's an unfortunate injury that she had. I mean, she's still scoring goals. I mean, she's still pacey, does her thing. Shifty, gets at players, and makes things happen. She's technical. So we want to make a final push here for her and the rest of this group of young ladies, especially these seniors, and hopefully put them in a spot where they can maybe get a chance to go to the next level.
Absolutely. Again, Grayson Lynch joining us again, 5th-year redshirt senior from Castle Rock, Colorado. Again, our guest here tonight when it comes to Cougar Soccer and the Cougar Soccer Coaches Show. Coming up, we mentioned just the one match in Spokane against Gonzaga. Gonzaga team that I'm sure you know at least a little bit about. What do you know about Gonzaga, and what are they going to bring to the table coming up on Saturday?
They score a lot of goals, but they've given up a bunch of goals too. So it's going to be hopefully not one of those type of games, but they definitely have an offensive potent attack, and they've had some great results, and they won the conference last year. Now, They lost some kids to graduation and transfer portal, as every program does nowadays. But, it's a backyard brawl, and it's going to be a good game.
Is it something where, as you mentioned, they are used to high-scoring games where that might set up well for your offense to try and put some goals on the board?
It could, at the same time, we don't want to give up those goals either on the flip end. So, and I know we won't be doing that. That's not in our mojo right now in our DNA this year. But, it's going to I suspect the game will become open. Okay, what I mean by open, it's going to be a back and forth potentially, and then who can put that thing in the net's going to get it done. I don't think any team, either one of us, is going to be sitting in that game.
As a coach, knowing what you know about your team, knowing about what you know about their team, again, don't want to give away any trade secrets, but would you be open for a more open game, or do you want to try and make it not be quite as open when it comes to Saturday? Or does how the game progresses, is that going to kind of determine the game plan?
It will, but we're not a team that sits in, so I don't see us going back and sitting back or doing anything like that. I think it's going to come down to how our defense plays, and if the ball's going net on the other side for us, we can determine if it's going to be open or not.
Yeah, again, Washington State getting set for Gonzaga. Again, 3 matches on the road. This one close to home, though, so it's kind of like an extended period of time at home. Again, it's a bus ride, and again, it's in hostile territory, but at the same time close to home, so no flights needed or anything like that. Good time of the season to have this extended period of time at home where you got the home weekend here and then another week before you get ready for that trip down to the Bay Area?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we'll still go up Friday nights. Routine business for us.
Sure.
Either it's an hour and a half or not. We're not going up Saturday, Dave. We'll go up Friday night and keep it business. This is a business opportunity for us again. So we'll go up Friday night, have a team dinner, and then I hate those late games. You sit around all day at the hotel, and I pace all around, and all that stuff that goes on until you play at 6 o'clock at night. So that's just life as a coach.
Is that what you do game day? Do you pace a lot? What do you do to keep yourself busy on game day for those late nights?
I work out a lot, and then I work out a lot, and isolate myself in a room and just try to do what I can do, right?
Do you do more last-minute preparation, or is the preparation done before that, and you kind of just are getting ready for game mode?
We're in game mode. The staff, we're a pretty detailed organization, and we get it all done prior to. And game day, it's just sit and wait.
All right. Got a couple more breaks to get to, so let's take one of them now. We'll come back, visit with the head coach a little bit more, and then we'll be back to wrap up the show. So, again, a little over 10 minutes left to go. So happy to have you with us. Again, it is your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with the head coach of Cougar Soccer, Todd Shulenberger. We're live from Zeppo's, and it's from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
Fall is here, and so...
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor and a strong, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. I'm excited to introduce someone who's familiar with achieving greatness.
Hey y'all, this is John Matier, quarterback for your Washington State Cougars, and I've got to give a shout out to Krista. I always knew Krista was someone I could rely on. She's always got my back. Thanks, Krista, for being more than just a business associate. You're truly a friend and an ally.
I'm Krista Gross, your lifelong realtor. Find me online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Well, great to be with you here from Zeppos. It is your WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show, and a good week for Cougar Athletics in general, as we had not only Cougar Soccer go unbeaten at home, they get the win over St. Mary's on Wednesday, also the tie against Portland on Saturday, Cougar football win against Fresno State. Don't forget your Cougar football hour with Jake Dickert right back here at Zeppos Thursday night from 6 until 7. Cougar volleyball, a couple of wins on the road. They're going to be home Thursday against Oregon State University. So again, into this portion of the schedule where everybody's right into the meat of their schedule. And again, 5 matches to go. Again, that's what we love about fall sports, is that you get all this. Of course, we've got the World Series coming up. I know you're happy about your Steelers picking up yet another victory. So nice job by your boys getting back to above 500. They were already above 500, but now 4-2 right there, right?
Yeah, we can't lose to the Cowboys. I mean, just can't happen. But they came back, bounced back, was good. It was great.
All right. Again, Gonzaga and then Santa Clara, San Francisco on the road. Oregon State and also Pacific is the 2 home matches that are left. As you take a look at the West Coast Conference, again, any surprises this week? You take a look at how this conference has kind of progressed over the course of the season. Any surprising teams out there for you that you've looked at so far?
I mean, you got to give credit to Oregon State where they're sitting right now. Now, with all due respect, they haven't played the other part of the schedule yet.
Right.
But they've got results. So I mean, I would say right now, give them credit for where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of had a tough non-conference portion of their schedule, and for them to bounce back and do what they've done in the conference. Now, you mentioned that they are going to have a lot tougher back half of the schedule. What about our schedule? As we mentioned, Gonzaga, and I know that is where the focus lies upon, but as you take a look, there are some opportunities here, as we mentioned earlier in the show, for us to make an impact here going into, and as Grayson mentioned, as you mentioned, trying to get to the NCAA tournament, and still the opportunities there because you're not that far off the lead. And again, you got Santa Clara, you've got Oregon State, matches against them to where you can make sure they don't advance in the standings, and you do get points to move up in the standings.
You do, and at the end of the day, our goal is to get those points. But, right now it's one at a time, as we always say. I know it's a cliche, but, at the end of the day, you get these results, you go 10-4-5 on the season. We're looking at something different here with 5 games to go. I mean, that's pretty good. So, but let's take one at a time, and there's some meat on that bone out there to go get.
I know I'm a media guy. I got to push and poke and prod and see if I can get you past the 1 game at a time. But I know where you're at. It's Gonzaga. It's this Saturday, and that's where we're at. We're coming up on Saturday. I get it. And so as we do get ready for this matchup on Saturday night, any players from over the course of this past week that you want to highlight that maybe we haven't talked about, and the performance that they had either against St. Mary's, or against Portland on Saturday.
I think Lindsey Turner had an incredible weekend for us. I mean, she's the energized bunny in that midfield, and she had 2 solid performances. She's got a couple goals this year, and sometimes that hard-working kid gets unnoticed, but she doesn't get unnoticed by our staff, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll take one more break since we owe it to you. Come back, wrap up the show with the head coach of Cougar Soccer. Glad to have you with us. We'll be wrapping things up live from Zeppos. It's a Cougar Soccer Coaches Show with Todd Shulenberger, and it's from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Bro, you go hard for the WSU Cougs.
What do you mean?
You're literally wearing a Coug jersey that you bought from the Coug store with your Coug debit card. And you don't stop talking about how every time you use your card, Geisa donates to the Cougar Athletic Fund.
I guess I do go pretty hard for my Cougs.
If you go hard for your Cougs, get your WSU card today at Geisa.com. Go Cougs!
Fall is here and so is football season. But before you hit the stands, let's get your look game ready at the Man Shop. From straight razor fades giving your haircut a sharp polished finish to hot towel shaves that'll make your face feel as sleek as a polished stone. Not to mention beard shaping and goatee services and a full line of grooming products. Located at 1025 East Main, the Man Shop is a go-to spot for a fresh look this football season. So before you cheer on the Cougs, make sure your hair and beard are in top form. Visit the Man Shop today, where every cut is a win.
There's some great sports action happening on your Pullman radio stations, and you can be a part of it. We broadcast WSU football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, and baseball, along with the WSU coaches shows. We also carry Pullman High School football, boys and girls basketball, and PHS baseball. Now, sponsorship packages are available for you to reach our listeners. Don't miss out on this opportunity to let our local community know about your business and what you can do for them. To advertise, call 509-332-6551, and we'll take good care of you.
Well, Steve Grubbs again, welcome you back. We are live from Zeppo's. We are with the Cougar soccer coach, Todd Shulenberger, as we're wrapping things up here on a Monday night. And Coach, it's been fun to be with you here Monday nights at Zeppo's. I hope you've had a good time and have enjoyed the show. And I think it's been a great opportunity to get to know some of your players, get to know your team, and obviously get out with the fine folks here at Zeppo's and just promote Washington State University soccer.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Zeppo's as always, and our team, our staff, our friends in the town here. And Steve, you do a heck of a job, and appreciate your support. I know you're a busy man, but thanks for everything you do for us.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Now, I think the schedule lines up where we don't have a show next week. Is that correct? And then we're kind of a TBD, I think, for our next show.
Yeah, I think it's the last week leading into those home games, I believe, since we're on the road next week.
Okay, so again, we'll have a little bit of time off, but we'll try and hook up with the coach and get you on here one more time as we make one final push towards the postseason. Again, some important matches coming up here for Washington State University. Do you have I don't want to say a theme. Do you have a as you get ready for an opponent, do you have something that you like to try and highlight, or is there something that you are working for this week? Or is it just kind of, you know what, this is the deal, this is the scouting report, we're going to go out and we're going to do it?
Yeah, it's just about us. I mean, we have a longer week to train this week, so more opportunity to be better for ourselves and what we got to do for our team here the next couple of days. And then, again, we'll start focus on Gonzaga probably come Thursday. Right now it's all about the Cougs and what we're going to do the next 2 days.
One side of the ball or the other, or is it just both sides of the ball and continuing to get better on both sides of the ball that you're going to be concentrating on this week?
We got to continue to be great where we've been great, and we got to get better on the other side of the ball where we got to get better at, which is putting the ball in the net. So a little bit of both as always, and you got to score to win, but you also got to win to not give up any goals either.
Absolutely. Again, Saturday night, Gonzaga, your next Cougar soccer matchup. By the way, if you're thinking about catching Cougar soccer again at home, it's going to be November the 6th, and then it is going to be that final day, senior day. Make sure you make plans to be out November the 9th when Pacific comes to town. So, again, 3 straight on the road. Again, the short trip, if you want to make the trip up to Spokane, Saturday night at 6 o'clock. Then they'll be in the Bay Area. They're not going to spend a week and a half in the Bay Area, but there's going to be a week and a half between the two matchups in both Santa Clara and San Francisco. And then, again, the 2 final matchups that'll be taking place at home against Oregon State and Pacific. Any final thoughts as we kind of wrap things up here on a Monday night?
No, just let's get out here and continue to support all Cougar athletics, all events right now. It's a great time to be a Coug. It's a great time to support where we're headed with this program and all sports here in town. And thanks for everybody's showing up as always.
Absolutely. Again, Thursday, it'll be your Cougar Coaches Show with Mr. Jake Dickert. That'll be your Cougar Football Hour. Thursday night at Bowler, Cougar Volleyball in town. You've got Cougar Football on Saturday, and, of course, again, Saturday night up in Spokane, this Cougar soccer team taking on Gonzaga. My thanks to the folks here at Zeppo's for all of their great help throughout the evening, the servers and everybody. Also, of course, for hosting the WSU Cougar Soccer Coaches Show. The 3 J's, Jared, Jerry, and also Johnny. They're, of course, always integral to the show. And, of course, Grayson Lynch. What a fantastic job she did joining us here on the show as well. And, of course, you can't have a Cougar Soccer Coaches Show without the head coach. Thank you, Coach, for showing up again.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Glad to have you with us again. That's going to do it for us. Back with more. It's going to be, again, a busy week of Cougar Athletics. Go Cougs. And we say so long from Zeppo's. It's your Cougar Soccer Coaches Show from Learfield.